Well, good Friday evening, everyone. Todd Warren here on Facebook Live tonight, as well as on the weather page of KTAL.com with another live update on the weather that we have on the way for your Saturday. Again, there is a possibility for some strong to severe thunderstorms for part of the ArkLaTex, and I'll have the very latest on exactly which part could see the strongest of the storms. You can see the how we wrapped up the day today in Texarkana. Lots of sunshine, and coming up, going to be getting into basically the timing of the storms, the threats that we'll face, what happens after as we look ahead to Sunday. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on the longer range, and I'll be doing something a little bit different tonight in that I will be basically looking at going through everything for tomorrow before I say the hellos and answer your questions. So if you do have a question, feel free to ask away. I'll be doing my best to kind of address those. I want to make a little adjustment here just very quickly. Bear with me as I do something here. Let's see. There it is. That's what I wanted to do. I want to do that. I want to move that down, and I want to do this. The only time I can do it is when I'm actually live. So I'm going to continue to make this adjustment. Okay, I think I'm good now. So now that I've done, I've always wanted to do that, and I figured tonight would be a good night to do it. So let me get going and just show you what we are looking at here for the next 24 hours as we still have that cold front, which is going to be moving towards the ArkLaTex. You can see the thunderstorms here, which will fire up along this front as it's going to move from northwestern Oklahoma and move into the heart of the ArkLaTex by the time we get to this time tomorrow evening. This stops at 5 o'clock. It'll be in the ballpark of Shreveport more than likely, if not a little bit to the east, by the time we get to 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Latest from the Storm Prediction Center, this was issued this afternoon, does show an enhanced risk over parts of northwest Louisiana, a good chunk of southwest Arkansas. That means severe weather reports within this area look to be more numerous, somewhat scattered further to the south in parts of deep east Texas and northwest Louisiana, and really areas north and west of Texarkana. It's looking as if the majority of the high-res models not showing a whole lot. If you're watching in Mount Pleasant, Clarksville, Idabel, maybe even DeQueen, everything, and perhaps even Texarkana, to be honest with you, the strongest of the storms actually may fire up to your south and to your east. So I'm going to show you a couple of models here. This is the latest run from Futurecast. Now, yesterday, Futurecast was somewhat ballistic on the intensity of these thunderstorms, showing some very intense storms with large hail and all that kind of good stuff, as well as the possibility for rotation. Last couple of runs have backed off on the coverage and intensity of the storm. So here's the one that has come in since the early newscasts, and you can see the increase in clouds tonight. Again, a spotty shower possible. Tomorrow morning clouds give way to some afternoon sunshine. Now, Futurecast does indicate a few pop-up thunderstorms developing out ahead of the front in the afternoon. Other models not showing anything at all like this. So we'll be watching to see if that actually happens. More than likely, we're going to be capped. So if that is the case, these will be hard-pressed to really get going very much. But as we progress our way towards dinner, we will see the thunderstorms fire up as the frontal system will be very close to Texarkana, more than likely, maybe a little bit to the west by 5 o'clock. And you can see the intensity on some of these thunderstorms. These, if we have any hail issues, more than likely will be the biggest threat of producing the quarters, maybe $50 or even as big as golf ball can't be ruled out as far as hail sized. And you can see those storms will move off towards the east, and new storms develop further to the south and east. And then by 9 o'clock, you can see Futurecast shows pretty much the storms moving out of the area. We will clear out tomorrow night, and that'll set the stage for a nice day for Sunday. All right, keep that in mind. And this is the afternoon run of the high resolution rapid refresh model. This updates every hour, but every 6 hours it goes out 48 hours. It gives us 48 hours worth of an outlook. Every hour, otherwise it's 18. So the hourlies don't quite go out far enough yet to use the very latest run. So this is from this afternoon, and you can see that increase in clouds. You can see the decrease in clouds tomorrow afternoon. Notice 5 o'clock, nothing indicated here. which would, again, wouldn't be too surprising, I guess. And then we start to see things fire up basically between Texarkana and Shreveport. And you can see the intensity of these storms indicated with the HR model. These would be some pretty good hailers. Also, they could begin to rotate. Notice by 9 o'clock they move into the southern and eastern sections of the area, and by 10 o'clock we're pretty much done. So pretty good agreement in the two models and as to when the severe weather threat will end tomorrow. All right, let me show you the rotation aspect of things here. Again, I mentioned the hail, so I really won't elaborate too much on that. I'll show you what Futurecast is showing here in a second. But you can see the latest run of Futurecast does have a few of these swaths over the eastern sections of the area. And I think if we're going to have any tornado issues, it's going to be in the eastern tier of counties and parishes here of Arkansas and Louisiana, probably to the east of both Texarkana and Shreveport. As far as the Futurecast depiction of hail, you can see it shows that, again, the hailers basically east of Shreveport and Texarkana. Although it really depends on where they fire up. Once they get going, they will go foof, and they will be strong very, very quickly. So if they develop over towards Marshall, we'll have a pretty good chance of maybe seeing some hail around somewhere in northwest Louisiana near Shreveport. If they develop over us, then it probably will be further to the east. All right, so that's what it looks like as far as the hail aspect. The HR doesn't show a product like that for hail that we have access to, but it does show rotation. And again, this is the same time frame as to what Futurecast was showing, and you can see where it develops these areas of potential rotation in that area that I outlined earlier, basically the eastern tier of counties and parishes, basically during the evening hours. So that's what we're looking at. Probably not going to be a very widespread. It's quite possible we see no tornadoes, to be honest with you. But I would expect to have a tornado warning or two as a possibility. But the probably more widespread issue could be large hail, as well as the usual damaging wind gusts that some of the stronger thunderstorms can produce. As far as rain, that's again Futurecast somewhat low. This is 2 runs in a row. You can see where the storms are strongest in the eastern tier of counties that I mentioned, and notice a few spots where we pick up that inch to an inch and a half. Actually, we could see more widespread 1-inch totals over south central Arkansas, north central Louisiana, east of Shreveport and Texarkana. Notice Idabel and Mount Pleasant, 0. And that is definitely within the realm of possibility that if you're watching an Idabel and Mount Pleasant, you get no rain tomorrow. That is definitely within the realm of possibility. In fact, the new run of the HR, the one that the newest one that goes out far enough, is just now coming in. And I showed that last night. Let me see how far along it is. It does look like it's far enough to show most of what I want to show. So I'm going to maximize this. And again, this is the, so here we are. This is 6 o'clock, and you can see the storms. See where they're initializing? Very close to, let me move that back. See where they're forming? Between Texarkana and Shreveport. Okay, let's step this forward 1 hour, and you can see how quickly they expand as we get to 7 o'clock. There's 8 o'clock. There's 9 o'clock. There's 10 o'clock. So you can see that they will develop, and let me move this forward. Notice the HR still does not have anything in the afternoon, unlike what Futurecast was showing. And you can see the development and then the storms as they move out of the area. Let's see if I can call up the rotation part of this, see what the swaths look like. And I'm just gonna swing this. So it does show, again, pretty much the same spot in the eastern tier of counties and parishes east of Shreveport and Texarkana. Magnolia, maybe El Dorado would be the locations if we're going to have any issues. But really, we have seen, you can see what's happening up here in Missouri, closer to that upper level low. That's where the tornado risk may be a little bit higher for tomorrow. All right, so that's what we're kind of looking at in the short range. Again, the latest run of the HRRR very similar to the afternoon run, so no major changes on that as far as timing or location for that matter of the thunderstorms. And there's another model. Let's see if it's coming in yet. It has not yet started to come in. It'll come in here in the next hour, unfortunately. the perils of daylight saving time. Everything comes in an hour later. So that's what we're looking at. Let me pause here and take a look at some of your questions and see what we have here. Let's see. Ooh, big list. Hello to everyone. I'm just going to skip all the hellos without going through everyone's name. I don't have vacation. No vacation, Chris. Yeah, but just with the severe weather, I figure I'd jump on and give a quick update. Let's see. David, again, I really think hail and wind, the two biggest things, 1 or 2 tornadoes possible. And the farther east you live, the stronger the storms will be by the time they get to you. Now, if you're in Prescott, the risk is not as high as it will be, say, in Magnolia and Homer and Arcadia. All right, if you get my drift. Bonnie, I think you're going to be okay. You could see you're east of Texarkana, so you saw where the HR showed those storms forming, so you should be okay. Dylan, again, you're far enough west. I think it obviously possible, but the risk will be higher to the east of you. No problem, Mary. David, we're kind of on the border, as it really depends on, a lot will depend on where these form. If they form further west in East Texas, say Marshall, Jefferson, Linden, Atlanta, then we will get it worse, all right? If they form right over us, they'll get strong, but they won't be as strong as they will be by the time they get to Minden. So I can't answer that with a definite answer, just to say that it's possible. The rest, I do think it's likely they'll be stronger to the east of Shreveport. Betty, that's just, again, you can't take these numbers too literally, because, again, this is just where, especially when the storms are more scattered, like what Futurecast is showing, the numbers do tend to change quite a bit. I would anticipate you have a pretty good chance of seeing a half an inch to an inch and a half. It would be a more realistic expectation. Sarah, you should be pretty much okay. Again, I'm not doing much of the national stuff tonight, given the severe weather possibilities for us. Renee, you can see Texarkana, DeQueen. I think you're far enough north and west where the risk is very low for you, just based on the latest models. Not out of the way. Keep an eye on it for tomorrow in case things change. But right now, based on what I'm seeing, it looks like it's going to be worse over towards Hope, and even there, not too bad. El Dorado, further east is where it's going to be a little bit stronger. 73 in Colbert. Thanks, Eric, for mentioning that. All right, let me move ahead here and show you what is on the way. I guess I will spend a little time on the longer range before I sign off here tonight. Again, here's the upper level disturbance, which is going to move into the middle of the country, and probably we'll see more severe weather issues up in here in terms of especially tornadoes, more than likely. And then we'll see this move out, and we'll take a break. And then another one of these big troughs moves in sometime late next week. Now, this model shows Friday. It's going to be Thursday night, or Friday. We'll see another front come in, so that could be our next chance. SPC does have an outlook to our west for Thursday. So it's sometime late next week, another round of thunderstorms possible. Jury's still out on exact timing and strength, so we'll know more, obviously, as we get closer, because we're going to cool off Sunday, as you'll see in the 10-day here in a second. We warm up for the last half of next week. Front comes through probably sometime Friday, and then we cool off next weekend. So that's the plan that we have right now. So let me see if the forecast works tonight. It looks like the stream has been performing a little bit better than it did last night. I think I narrowed it down. I just looked when I came on. I was pulling a internet speed of like 8, which is insanely slow. So that may have been part of my issue last night with the lagging. But you can see the forecast tonight. We'll see the clouds already increasing. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s tomorrow. Again, morning clouds, afternoon sunshine. It appears that for most of us, most models showing that most of the ArkLaTex will stay dry until very late afternoon or early evening. And then 5, 6, 7 o'clock, things start to pop. Looks like it's going to be somewhere between Texarkana and Shreveport where that popping occurs. Those storms will strengthen to severe limits in spots, and then we'll see them move out by 9, 10, 11 o'clock. We'll see clearing skies after that. And you can see the highs tomorrow, mid to upper 80s across the region. 10-day forecast shows basically that we are going to cool off, mid 70s Sunday, upper 70s Monday, Tuesday, with dry conditions through Wednesday. Notice the 80s return for the last half of next week, and notice that chance for the shower or thunderstorm to close the work week. We cool off again back to the low to middle 70s by next weekend. So that's what it's looking like right now as far as highs and lows. Basically, most nights will be in the 50s and 60s. So I see some more questions. Let's see. Renee, what about Spring Hill, Louisiana? I'll show Futurecast one more time here, okay, just since I've had another questions, and you'll see the answer. They're gonna be close. They will probably see some thunderstorms. Hailers will be possible, and actually, let me show the HR because I think this is the best depiction of what possibly could happen and what the majority of the high-res models are showing. So you'll see the things fire up here, and you can see Spring Hill. Yeah, they're going to get some pretty good storms. Hail, a big issue. Tornado possible, obviously wind, but by the time we get to 9 o'clock or so, it should be pretty much done, as you can see there. So David, are we, we already have an enhanced risk northeast quarter of the area. Whether or not there is or not has no bearing on what happens. It's just an outlook at where it could, the severe weather risk could be highest. I'm just showing you what the models are indicating right now. So I doubt that we'll see much of an enhancement of that. I don't expect a moderate in our area or anything, no upgrade the way things are looking right now. But we're going to see some wind issues and some hail issues and maybe a tornado or two. Dylan, it's possible. You're far enough to the south. Again, that line develops. Let me put this again. I'll play this again. Up, just a second. Then I'm going to sign off. It's getting a little bit late here. Go ahead and play. This is what we're looking at here, and you can see. Yep, I would say yes. You have a possibility, Dylan, of maybe seeing some hail there based on this, as hail could be an issue. So, listen, folks, I think, let's see, we do have some more comments. Let me scroll down and make sure I got everybody. Okay. Renee, you're welcome. All right, well, listen, folks, that will pretty much do it for me tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be monitoring things tomorrow as we go through the afternoon, and probably will come in at some point tomorrow evening to help Ron out if we have any tornado issues. So we'll keep an eye on things for you during the day tomorrow. Of course, give you updates as conditions warrant tomorrow. The good news is these storms won't hang around very long. We got about a 4 or 5 hour window, if not less, and then we're going to be pretty much done. So they'll be in, they'll be out, and then we'll salvage a pretty nice Sunday here across the area. So again, thanks for tuning in tonight, folks. Don't forget to check us out tonight at 9. I will be able to show the latest run of this particular model, which is just now coming in on the air during the 9 and 10 o'clock newscasts, 9 on Fox and 10 o'clock on NBC. So be sure to join us then. So again, thanks for tuning in tonight, folks. I will chat with you probably next time on Monday. Until then, be safe tomorrow with the thunderstorms and enjoy your sunny Sunday. Good night.